What's up guys, my name is Ace, and welcome back to Maps Exposed. This is the series where I share all of the lines of sight, jump spots, as well as any other sort of secrets and common spawn locations on every map in Modern Warfare. In today's episode, we're going to be covering the brand new Atlas Superstore, and a lot of this episode is going to be focused on getting lines of sight to these office areas because those are just the most common camping locations, and they're pretty powerful positions, so I want to make them a little bit less powerful and allow you to get some free kills on those guys. For this window on this side of the map here, there's a couple little lines of sight I've got that are pretty crazy. First one is if you jump up on this area here and then you have to strafe yourself all the way as far as you can go around here, you can catch a small glimpse of just that corner of the window. So if they happen to be on that corner, this is a really easy kill for you to pick off. But a much better line of sight that gets you a great line of sight on the whole window is getting on top of this area here, which you can't do directly, but you can jump from here across like this. And then there you go. When you crouch, you have a perfect line of sight on that entire window, and they don't normally look all the way back through that little crack there. So this is just a free kill for you if you have somebody standing up in that window area there. You can, of course, also jump from this side right here to get on top of this, and that will also get you that line of sight. Now, while we're over here, I just wanted to point out you can get on top of this center area right here as well. It's not quite as easy as it might look. Like, I thought you'd be able to just jump up here and then easily jump up like that, or somewhere around here, but that just doesn't work. Easiest way is to jump on this area right here and then jump up like that. From this, you've got a nice line of sight looking over top like this, or that's pretty much it, honestly. There's not a whole lot else to do with it, so it's not the most practical spot, but I just wanted to point out you can get up here. It's just not as easy as it might seem. Now moving on over to this area here where you have this little pathway right through this area here. If enemies are coming through this and you're on the other side, a great way to challenge them that they don't normally see coming is jumping on top of the forklift like this and then crouching. That gives you a little bit of a line of sight on them as they come through, and like I said, they don't typically see that. Just a little alternative to that, or a couple little alternatives. The first one is if you hop up on top of this area right here, you can kind of peek through that little crack and shoot them. Or better yet, assuming you feel safe doing this, hopping on top of this box here gives you an even better line of sight through that area. And you can often pick people off as they're coming through that area there, and they just won't see that one coming. However, you are extremely exposed here, so this is very, very situation dependent. Additionally, from this forklift, there is a bomb site that's right around in this area right here. You don't get quite a line of sight on the bomb site, but if you jump on the forklift and then get on top of this box right here, and if you strafe all the way over as far as you can this way, you can get a nice line of sight in the direction of where the bomb site is. So you might be able to pick somebody off in search and destroy here as they're trying to approach the bomb site. But like I said, you don't get that direct line of sight on it. Another thing back in this area right here is just a nice line of sight for anybody that's going to be coming through that lane right there, and also a little bit up top like that. This is by just jumping on top of this cardboard box right here, and then you just have to be on this corner, and there you go. You can just look over top, and they normally won't be seeing your head peeking up over top like this. If you crouch, you're completely hidden. Stand up, and you've got a great line of sight on them, and you can pick them off quite easily. Now, right next to that spot, if you end up in this second story area right here, all you have to do is strafe out this way, and this gives you a nice line of sight on the people that are crossed that way on the second floor there. And they don't normally see that coming. I say second floor, but I mean, it's the second shelf, but you know what I mean. Either way, they don't normally see this one, as I really like to say in this series, and you can often pick them off through there. Now, getting into the mid-map area, you can hop up on top of this right here, which gives you a really nice line of sight into that window, and this is just a nice way to get a quick line of sight on them if you want to check that as you're coming through mid. Sometimes you pick off a free kill, but in either case, you could just use that as a check spot if you wanted. Next up, at the B domination flag, you can hop up onto this area right here, and then hop up behind these boxes. That'll also give you a bit of a line of sight towards that window. You don't see the whole window, but you see a little bit of it at least. Another thing you can do here just to get a better line of sight on the window, this one does expose you more to other areas of the map though, is if you hop on top of this area here and just strafe over, there you go. Now you can see almost the entire window and pick them off through there. But like I said, you are very exposed by doing this. Additionally, from this location, it does give you a great line of sight on anybody that might want to come over here. It's also a pretty decent line of sight if they try and attack from this position, and therefore this is actually a pretty decent place to be camping if you're trying to just defend the B flag. I don't normally encourage people to camp, but in this situation, it is a really objectively significant camping position, so I do kind of recommend that you use this if you want to lock down B. Additionally, if we come all the way back here, if you hop on the boxes, you can hop up on top of this, and that gets you a great line of sight on the window. You can also use this as a mounting spot, and so if you're going for camos, this gives you a mounting kill as well as a long shot kill, which is excellent. So that'll help you grind those camos if you have people that are trying to camp up in that window there. Now in Domination, a nice line of sight towards the B flag, you can't see the entire B flag, but you can see a little bit of it at least, is from all the way back here. If you hop up on top of these crates here and look over top like that, you have to strafe a little bit to the left here. That does give you a pretty decent line of sight towards a B flag, and with a sniper rifle at least, you may be able to pick somebody off through there. Now turning around and having a look at the other window, there is a nice line of sight if you can hop up on top of this area right here. You can easily just look through the boxes there. This is a great way, if you've got a sniper rifle, for instance, great way to pick them off because it's really nice. All you have to do is crouch to take cover from them. And then when you stand up, you've got a clean line of sight on basically the entire window. Now, one last thing to show you guys all the way back by the C Domination flag is you can jump on the bumper of this. There's kind of an invisible ledge there where you just float. And from here, it gives you a nice line of sight across that way, as well as towards anybody that might be coming through this door here. I wanted to show this spot, not only so that you can take advantage of it, but also I have been noticing a few people camping back here. And this is a spot I just want you to be aware of so you know where to look as you come through that door. And with that, that pretty much covers it for all of the lines of sight and little jump spots and stuff that I have for you guys on this map. But next, it's time to move into the most common spawn locations you'll tend to see, in Domination at least, although of course, many of these will carry over to other modes as well. Now first up, these are the primary spawn locations. These are the ones that you'll spawn at most of the time, assuming there's no pressure put on the spawns. And they're pretty much exactly where you'd expect them to be. There's nothing too surprising here. Next, we've got a few secondary spawns. There's basically only one secondary spawn towards A. You're really likely to spawn at primary spawns at A. The other ones aren't nearly as common, whereas with C, there are a couple pretty common secondary spawns that are pushed up just a little bit on the map just inside the building. Now finally, we have a bunch of other spawn points that I found while doing the testing on this map, and there are quite a few of them on either side of the map. And these ones really just depend on where your teammates are positioned, where your enemies are positioned, and you can be anchored or pushed into these spawn locations fairly easily on both sides of the map. Overall though, I didn't find any spawns in the middle of the map, at least in Domination. They just weren't happening at all, which is great. This is actually a pretty decent spawn layout for this map, although there are quite a few of them, so it might be a little unpredictable at times. It's overall a pretty decent layout based on what I can see here. And with that, that pretty much wraps it up for today's episode of Maps Exposed on Atlas Superstore. As for my thoughts on this map, unfortunately I haven't really been able to play it much, it just never seems to pop up for me. But based on my limited experience, it doesn't seem too bad. I actually don't mind it at all. It does have a pretty nice structure, it can get a little bit cluttered, and maybe a few too many lanes, especially for 6v6. But for 10v10 at least, I think it's actually quite nice. Of course though, that's just my thoughts. I'd like to know in the comment section below, what are your thoughts on Atlas Superstore so far? If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.